well. I thought there were times in that game we played as good as we played all year. Our defense, our rebounding, and our running, and I thought there were a couple times when we just kind of got a little complacent and made some foolish turnovers. I think we had 3 at halftime or 4 at halftime, and we had 3 in the first 3 minutes of the second half. But as good as Cassius played, scoring 21, getting career high, I told him 4 rebounds, but 6 assists, 2 turnovers in 24 minutes. Xavier was, I thought, really good because he had 6 assists to go along with all the other things he did. But if I was a hockey guy, I'd put my star on a guy who didn't score a point, and that was Marcus Bingham. I mean, he blocked some shots, he got some rebounds, started to look like a player. And if that happens, you know, Gabe and Thomas got in foul trouble, and Marky Xavier was sicker than a dog. That's why he left. Considering that Cassius hasn't practiced much, Rocket's starting to come around. You know, he defensively did some good things. Offensively, he's starting to figure it out, and he hasn't practiced much in a month. So, and Kyle Arns, I just don't know. He played a little bit, but that Achilles is bothering him, and so we're kind of a mash unit, but we competed. You know, it's a very good rebounding team. Our wings did a good job. Henny had 8 rebounds. Aaron in the first 12 minutes, I think, and then kind of let it drift away a little bit. But there's enough good that we can really build on, and enough bad that I can still work tomorrow. So tonight. So all in all, I thought, you know, only 10 turnovers last year. I think we set a North American record for turnovers. And I thought we didn't shoot it great, but we were shooting really well from the 3, and we just didn't end up great. Took some bad ones at the end. But the defense on their 3-point shooting, and the fact they didn't shoot it very good. I mean, they're a better shooting team than that. They didn't shoot it very good. My coaches did a hell of a job because we thought we followed the game plan. And maybe if anybody deserves credit, it's all those assistants. Because the game plan was good and it worked. So, questions?
Tom, you've seen Marcus score points before. You've bemoaned his defense. Will you talk about his maturation? I mean, that was the first thing Brad talked about, was his defense affecting the game.
Yeah, you know, we knew his length can bother people, but he gets tired. I mean, that's why he's in and out. But I was so proud of him. I mean, what did he end up playing? How many minutes? 24? 20? That's a lot for Marky. And, you know, other than getting a little tired at the start of that second half, I thought he hung in there pretty good, battled pretty good. And, but Xavier, we did some things defensively with Xavier to help Marky. And Xavier Tillman, you know, even though Marky deserves it because it was the best game here, Xavier's all-around game was unbelievable, especially considering how he felt. So, really, really proud of him.
Going to Xavier, you mentioned Marcus's length, but Xavier seemed to be using his length a little better, both in the passing lanes and in the shooting lanes.
Now, it's funny because he fumbles the ball sometimes on offense, and we kind of say, God. And defensively, he's got the best hands that I've had here in a long time. I mean, he knocked the 3-4 balls. They're very good. Georgie is very good at feeding the post, and we really worked on some things to combat that. And Xavier just did it to a T. I mean, he an unbelievable game.
Tom, how much you played your best that time? How much of that was maybe your 2 best players playing well on the same night?
Well, I think that's always the case. If your 2 best players play well, I think you always have a chance to win if you have 2 really good players. And I mean, I can't say enough about Cassius. You know, the holiday was not an easy time for him, and then he got hurt the day after Christmas. You know, and he's just kind of, we've managed him. I think it's, you know, I've learned a lot throughout a few of these things, and I think, you know, even tonight now, we didn't have to play him a ton of minutes, so, but those 2 guys playing well, and they look good together on that screen and roll and stuff. I think was a big difference in the game, although our fast break early, I thought, really helped too.
Tom, how do you feel Aaron responded after you coached him up a little bit early in the first half?
I love Aaron, you know, I really do, because anytime you go through some controversy with a guy, but I just know he has so much. I mean, those couple of moves he made were moves that Jason Richardson made here and other people, you know, and you can't run it like that all the time. And that's what I told him at the end. You know, at halftime, we isolated him that time. He should have gone out and dunked it. And I think we figured out he left. I think he told me he left 9 points on the board. I mean, you know, he still gets 10 points and 9 rebounds. And I think that affected his rebounding a little bit. So the difference is now Aaron understands what he's got to do. I understand when to get on him, when to get off him. I thought defensively he was very good most of the time. The only problem is when he started missing those free throws, started hanging his head in his defense. So he's got to, you know, that'll be another lesson. We'll have a film session tomorrow morning on that stuff. But listen, just about every guy on my team, we had great practices, considering that we didn't have half our team practicing. We practiced a lot more physical like old times, and I thought we played more physical.
Tom, the alumni crowd was here tonight. Just kind of talk about the energy they brought to the game.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is, yeah, that alumni group, you know, I always tell the new groups every year that they better learn something from the alumni groups. You know, the only problems with those guys is they don't look quite the same. The shirts don't fit the same. Probably went out a little bit too much on New Year's, but boy, they brought it tonight. And the whole crowd, you know, one of the reasons that I've, my whole career, love this place is, you know, on the holidays, this becomes from Michigan State to East Lansing, and our surrounding area. And the way the people have come out, I mean, our holiday crowds have been unbelievable. You look on TV in a lot of places, they're 3/4 empty. And so I do want to thank the alumni zone. They were awesome. I want to thank our community, you know, and that's what I love about this place. You know, it's not just the university, and I greatly appreciate that.
Tom, pretty good combination and number of minutes with Rocket and Foster together. No turnovers between the two of them. Did you like what you saw when the two of them were out there together?
I did. You know, it's been frustrating for Rocket, I'll tell you that right now. And it's probably been frustrating for Cassius. Rocket shows it a little more. Foster doesn't. But Rocket, I mean, I bet he's not practiced 5 days in a month. And so it just gives me hope on what he could do, you know. When he was really good defensively, he could push the ball, you know, he just got to get a feel. He's just got to get back into practice. And, you know, he's going to need a little patience. But I think he's going to start playing more and more minutes as he gets healthier. And I think Cash, you know, our next thing is to get him in great shape again, because, you know, not only do we have the week off for Christmas, but then he gets hurt and has done a little bit in the last, you know, 5-6 days. So I think Rocket and Foster is starting to, you know, get a little better defensively. He's starting to look for his shot, and you know what I really appreciate, and I know this will sound stupid, but I told you that Foster's been Cassius's biggest fan. You know, he was his roommate on the road, and when he is going through all the stuff he's going through, the kid has been there for him. But if you watch when Foster makes a basket or a play, no bigger fan than Cassius Winston. You know, one time he told me to leave him in there. One time, you know, he told me a lot of things, and I'm even starting to listen. So that's pretty good.
Now, they kept it pretty close until 14 minutes or so left, and you guys went on that run with 15 minutes and 8 straight passes. What do you see to kind of allow you guys to have that stretch?
Well, I like some of you guys said, I thought early in the game, if we would have just maintained a little more discipline, made a couple free throws, you know, you can maybe maybe extend that lead, and then that second half, we were playing okay, except for the turnovers, and we turned it over, and they were getting layups. I mean, I think they got 3 or 4 three-point plays, you know, and, but that's a good team, guys. I mean, that is a good basketball team. They did not shoot the ball well tonight. I'm afraid in this league, you know, it's gonna be different nights, there's gonna be a lot of weird games, but they're a better team. I mean, they played a lot of people very good, won some big games, and you know, we took the big guys out of the game. I mean, their big guys were 5 for 22, and in big games, we keep stats of BCS games, Big Ten games, and overall, those BCS games, you know, those 2 big guys were averaging 25, 26, 27 points, and shooting a very high percentage. So I think that's why I give Xavier a lot of credit, you know, but I gotta give Markey. I mean, it was fun to see him when I gave him the hockey 3-star in the locker room, you know. It was fun to see the rest of the players embrace him because, you know, like everybody, when I reminded Rocket of this, I said, talk to Cassius. Everybody should go through a rookie year. It builds your character, it builds you as a person. And if you survive and you stay, you get a chance to be great. This day and age, I don't know, everybody transfers, but thank God those guys are, you know, Markey's taking his share here from DJ and everyone else, and you're starting to see some growth in them, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get better. There is a process at 90% of our schools, 95%. If we don't get the greatest players, you make other guys better, and that's what he's doing. I just gotta keep weight on him. I think he's down to 218. Gotta keep the weight on him. He's up to 227. So I don't know. My wife better start cooking turkey or something.
Got time for a couple more before you go and Stephen.
Tom, with the injuries and the adversity that you had at the beginning of the year, going into the Big Ten season now, how close do you feel your team is to hitting their true stride and their potential?
Well, you know, I told a couple of people that I talked to in the last day or two, you know, I was really concerned about this game. I'm really concerned about my team just because I don't see them every day right now. I don't think we're close. I think we had moments that we were. I mean, I don't think we're world beaters, you know, but I think we got a lot of room for improvement. I think we got a lot of room for growth. I think you're going to see Rocket Watts is going to get a lot better. You know, I think both Kithier and Hall are going to get, you know, better. I think Cassius and Xavier are good. And then Gabe Brown came back. He was very average the first half and really played well the second half. I thought got that big time rebound. I mean, I just like the growth, but the only thing I'm feeling bad about is Christmas is always the time when we got a lot better, and I don't know if we're able to do that yet. So our growth is still hopefully coming, but now the games come quicker and the practices get shorter, so we'll see. But we got a lot of room for growth. I don't think we're near where we want to be, but that makes it sound like after you play a good game like this, we played a good game for a couple of reasons. The way we played, and they missed shots. And so then it makes you maybe look a little better than you are. We still got a long way to go.
Coach, I know it's early, but as good as this league is, and you've been a prognosticator, league conference losses for the championship, how many do you think it's going to take this year losses and still be able to win the Big Ten this year?
You know, I really have no idea, but it wouldn't surprise me as good as the league is if 5 losses win it. You know, I think 4 for sure. They're going to have 4 losses. I mean, you know, things will start settling down one way or another now. But I think the biggest issue that everybody's going to deal with now is injuries. Everybody, you know, I mean, because I think there's just not the depth there used to be, and that's what, you know, Michigan's had one. I saw what Purdue tonight. What did that guy score? He's been out of harms for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Get back, got 26 tonight. You know, that's going to play a little bit of role in some of these things too. When you play games, do you get enough rest? You know, if you don't have depth, That's why it was important. I didn't get Cassius. It was important to get Rocket some time. Foster, it was important to get Cassius some time on the bench, even though I hate to do that because a lot of these places where they got guys that are capable of being All-Americans and that are playing them 38 minutes, and Cassius just can't do that right now. So hopefully people will appreciate what he does do because the effort he gave tonight. You know, I talked to him last night. I picked him up and brought him to the hotel, and I said, how you doing physically and how you doing mentally? And it's getting better. And I said, well, they said your injury is nothing that can get worse, and you played worse with the tendonitis last year. So just suck it up, and he did. And then Xavier, with 4 minutes left, this is the fun part of the job, comes over and says, can you take me out? I said, no. And he said, I'm not feeling good. I might throw up on the floor. We got people cleaning, no problem, don't worry about it. And, we all laughed in the huddle, and that really did happen, but we all did laugh in the huddle, but I think that's what they're starting to figure out. You gotta play through stuff, you gotta do stuff, and that's what'll make a good team a great team, and that's what I hope to get. So I guess we're having a press conference tomorrow. I'll answer all your questions. I'm gonna enjoy one more hour, and then I'm gonna start working on my next opponent. But I'm gonna enjoy a little bit of time until players do the same, and then we got a quick turnaround here with a 2-day prep. So appreciate it. Good start for us. 2020's off to a good start.